Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist, joins us now. And Derrell, as we head toward the end of March, the big question, are we seeing seasonal peaks in the cattle markets?
Well, we've certainly seen these markets pull back a little bit lately, and part of that is definitely seasonal, I think. Lightweight calves normally peak about this time of the year, so it's consistent with that. We've seen a fairly seasonal move up through the first quarter. Fed cattle prices also typically peak about this time of the year. There's a seasonal component to this, but there may be other things as well.
What other factors that you mentioned are you keeping an eye on?
Well, I think the markets are looking beyond just seasonal patterns a little bit right now. Of course, we're still in a situation where we know supply is going to grow, so the market's concerned about that. We'll be seeing peaks in cattle slaughter as we move into May, June time period. The futures in particular have pulled back. Again, I think partly reflecting that seasonal pattern, but reflecting more than that, we've had awful good support in the futures markets, long positions in those markets, and some of those are just pulling out now. I think that beyond that, there's a backdrop here of just continued concern about trade situation, trade policy, a lot of uncertainty about that, and it is having an impact on the market, so that's a factor as well.
Well, let's talk about the drought now and how that fits into the picture and some of the things that you've just mentioned.
Well, certainly we have a continuing drought situation in the West in particular. We've got lots of time to fix it yet, but if we don't, then it's going to be a very big issue. From a market standpoint, I really don't think this is going to be a big impact, at least not right away. Even though the drought area right now is pretty big, it's also country that doesn't carry as many cattle, and so even if we see some liquidation, and that's a ways down the road before we would get into that, I don't think it will probably have general impacts in the market, but it's certainly going to be a big impact for those producers that are affected.
And that planning is so important, like we've talked about before.
Absolutely.
Now, you've been traveling, you're back from Mexico. Give us an idea of the conditions and situation there.
Did spend a little bit of time in northern Mexico recently. The drought that we're talking about in the southwest U.S. continues down through the western part of Mexico. And so their conditions, now it's the dry season in Mexico. They have a very pronounced monsoonal weather pattern, and so they normally are dry this time of the year. But the drought conditions there go beyond that, so they're certainly watching it as well. They won't be expecting rains, for example, in Chihuahua. They won't be expecting summer rains to start until we get into probably July. So they're kind of used to this in some sense, but also keeping an eye on it in terms of whether this drought goes beyond sort of normal conditions.
Okay, well, keep us posted. Derrell, we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.